Hello and welcome to the Baseball Brewhaha. It's your spot for obscure baseball trivia. I'm Aaron. That's my twin brother Adam. Join us today again for a cup of coffee, and we're going to put our baseball knowledge to the test. Adam, what do we have today?
Going back to the Padlet for our questions. Today's question: how many years was the All-Star Game played in the same city as the World Series? And that could be either team
Okay.
who's hosting. And our options are 12, 14, 17, or 19.
12, 14, 17, 19. These numbers feel higher than they should be, but I suppose it makes sense. I didn't give this much of a ponder beforehand. Were there any that you thought of right off? Because I get a big blank. The only thing I can think about off the top of my head is the 2002 All-Star Game in Milwaukee when that ended in a tie. That doesn't really help us out much here. So, did you have any that came to the top of mind?
No, but I was thinking back to the All-Star Game started in 1933.
Yeah.
And at that time, for 36 years, there were so few teams, right? It expanded it in 1969 to a different World Series setup and different division setup. And so I was thinking in those early years, it's got to have happened quite a bit. And especially if we're thinking about, say, New York, that probably hosted the All-Star Game several times, whether it's the New York Yankees, Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Giants, New York Mets. That hub there, it's like, if the All-Star Game is in New York City, even if it's at Yankee Stadium, but one of the four teams that had or has a team in New York at the time was in the World Series, so I figured it's got to happen a fair amount of times.
Yeah, that's a good point because you also throw in Chicago had two teams, St. Louis had two teams for quite a time. So that's a great thought. I still feel like I don't know. I don't know. This is a guess. So I'm gonna go to 12 is one of my favorite numbers. So I'm gonna go 12.
All right, going on the low end, thinking this is rare. I went with 17.
I like the number 17.
Why?
I had the number 17 playing baseball growing up.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Well, it is the day of which we celebrate our birth when it happens. So
that's true. Yeah.
Why? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're
so
going,
I was
you're
17.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going a little bit high end here. And what do we got? Consult the Padlet. We've got the correct answer is 14. It's happened 14 times, and including, so there was a stretch from 1959 to 1962, so 4 years, where there was a little kind of experiment, I guess, done where the World Series or the All-Star Game was played right before the World Series. So this is very Pro Bowl-esque here. And so the All-Star Game, happened in the city of the World Series for those 4 years. Because of the timing. So that ended up being 4 right there. And then all the New Yorks and the Chicagos and the Minnesota popped up a few times there. So 14 times this happened.
That is very interesting. So my random guess didn't work out this time.
No.
That's how she blows, So it's interesting. So not the All-Star Game, but the World Baseball Classic is going on right now. And so there's been some banter, some questioning out there in the Twitterverse of should the World Baseball Classic be held after the season, kind of like we were talking about. World
Mm.
Series. So that's interesting. I did not know that about the All-Star game. Do you have any, particularly All-Star memories that stand out for you? I had one. I'm gonna throw it out there. I watched the start of the '92 All-Star game, which I wanted to watch because I remember Ken Griffey Jr. hit a home run off of Greg Maddux in that All-Star game. In the first inning, Tom Glavine pitched. He gave up 8 straight singles. He got the first out.
What?
He gave up 8 straight singles. I
Oh, I
was
don't
like,
remember that at
wow.
all.
Yeah, no. And then you had, so the insane thing too is then I think it was either that first inning or the second inning, Roberto Alomar in an All-Star game stole second and third. I was like, ain't nobody stealing bases now in the All-Star game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the All-Star game memory that that sticks with me the most as far as like MLB All-Star things that I've seen was Dan Ugla's 3 errors in the All-Star game that I believe went extra innings and there was some, worry about the another tie
Yeah.
like what happened in 2002. It didn't come to that in large part because of Dan Ugla's contributions to that game,
Yeah. I wonder if
which I think that,
he got a little roster bonus for helping
yeah,
helping everybody out.
yeah, exactly. And I think he was with the Marlins at the time, and I think so. The AL, I think won in extra innings
It was
on
like
like
15. I
a
think it was
walk off play. Yeah, it was a long game.
15
It was
innings
fun.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun to watch though.
Yeah. So cool. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining us for Baseball Brewhaha. We'll be back with you. See you tomorrow.